meeting to order at 7:33 p.m. Please be aware that this meeting may be film or audio recorded, and these records, including our meeting minutes, may be available to the public. Will Senator Felix please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may now be seated. Will Senator Kajabi please deliver a brief land acknowledgement?
We, the University of Florida Student Government, recognize that our campus is located on the ancestral and traditional territory of the Seminole Tribe of Florida and the Tippecanoe tribe. We recognize that the historic displacement and violence against Indigenous people has led to severe flights for Indigenous individuals throughout our American history. Despite these circumstances, the Indigenous communities across this nation have continued to stay connected and nurturing with this territory and with their cultural ways of life. We pay our respects to these Indigenous elders and descendants of the past and present, especially those who have involved the University of Florida among the development. We shall commit ourselves to support Indigenous sovereignty and culture within and beyond the University of Florida. And now for a moment of silence.
Thank you. Please join me in a moment of silence. Will a member of the Rules and Ethics Committee please come up and conduct roll call?
Andrews?
Here.
Here. Antevy? Antevy? Archulus?
Here.
Here. Badham?
Here.
Here. Bennett?
Here.
Here. Blythe? Here. Here. Voss? Here. Here. Williosta?
Here.
Here. Brandmeier?
Here.
Here. Bravo?
Here.
Here. Britton?
Here.
Here. Cafarata?
Here.
Here. Canella?
Here.
Here. Chabra? Here. Here. Comstone?
Here.
Here. Davis? Davis? DeFreitas? DeFreitas? DeCampley? Here. Here. Dill? Here. Here. Doonan? Here. Here. Drescher?
Here.
Here. Eisenberg?
Here.
Here. Enriquez? Here. Here. Eubank? Here. Here. Feldstein?
Here.
Here. Felix?
Here.
Here. Berger?
Here.
Here. Fullerton was here. Benfrost? Here. Flores? Flores? Fullerton? Here. Here. Furman? Furman? Gelati? Here. Here. Kolosorki? Here. Here. Gregg?
Here.
Here. Henley? Here. Here. Hoffman?
Here.
Here. Pedicula? Here. Here. Isaacson? Isaacson? Jabor? Jabor? Jacobson? Here. Here. Johnson?
Here.
Here. Carmelic? Here. Here. Katz?
Here.
Here. Katz? Katz? Kajabi?
Here.
Here. Khan?
Here.
Here. Kugler? Here. Kushwaha?
Here.
Here. Labradini?
Here.
Here. Larson?
Here.
Here. Levitt? Levitt? Littman? Here. Lockwood? Here. Here. Lucan? Lucan? Mahmoudi?
Here.
Here. McNamara? McNamara? Melamed? Here. Mento? Mento? Metric? Here. Here. Mirabelle? Here. Here. Molson? Molson? Murphy? Here. Here. Nadeau?
Here.
Here. Papa?
Here.
Here. Pasco? Here. Here. Pecora? Here. Here. Prieto? Here. Here. Putnam? Here. Rappaport? Here. Here. Rathett? Here. Here. Rabindrana? Here. Did I say that right? Riley? Riley? Roberts? Roberts. Rodriguez. Here. Rubai.
Here.
Here. Runyon. Here. Sabodash.
Here.
Here. Salvador.
Here.
Here. Shapansky.
Here.
Here. Schramm.
Here.
Here. Cipher.
Here.
Here. Cipher.
Here.
Here. Sethi.
Here.
Here. Shaw.
Here.
Here. Sharma. Sharma. Simon.
Here.
Here. Sriram.
Here.
Here. Stevens. Stevens. Stevens.
Here.
Here. Strukowski.
Here.
Here. Tappan. Here. Here. Triggs. Triggs. Trower. Here. Urbans. Urbans. Walsinovich.
Here.
Here. Gatchett.
Here.
Here. Zervadakis.
Here.
Here. Are there any senators' names I did not call? There are 79 senators present.
Quorum has been established with 79 senators present. We are now in line for public comment, starting off with Tyler Sklar. You have 3 minutes when I'm ready.
Okay. So I'm assuming you all got my email, right? Okay, so I have here a public record requested audio recording of an RNA meeting from June 9th, 2024. As you can see, there's nothing on it besides the audio. And the reason why I chose this meeting in particular is because there's a lot of talking and a lot of typing where they're actually using anything happening in the meeting. The interviews are very sparsely out there, so I'm wondering why people are typing, just a random question. Well, you never know from this audio. So, what this thing has in my case, a bunch of visual recordings of the community, which I find weird because this settings have been, live streaming for like 2 years now. And actually, the live streams were actually started by a senator called Zachariah Chow in 2018. And apparently our INC already had the equipment. I mean, they were trying to get the equipment and the jurisdiction to live stream, but it took them 4 years to do it, which I find very weird. I don't know. Not a very good factor for this student government to take 4 years to do live streaming after it's been in the guns for a long time. And this was the first stream he ever did. It got 800 views. And not only just did like live streams on the settings, he also did live streams on this randomly distributed meeting that didn't even meet quorum. Look at that, 759 views for a minute of nothing. And there's actually comments too. I have an RNA, 927 views, 19 comments, 13 minutes. A lot of people are curious to watch on it. This is supposed to be a stream. There's 1,000 views on this one, 110 comments. Pretty interesting. RNA again, 1,800 views, 55 comments. I mean, this is already like what, 10% of the voter turnout from the last election. It's better. 2,000 views. He didn't even stop at the community meetings. He actually recorded digital branchings. The Elections Commission, 2,000 views, 52 comments. Pretty interesting. 1,500 views of this spending. 5,100 views. This is the most he has ever gone. There's 300 comments. So that's what I find interesting. Visual recordings actually help engagement. There's actually students engaging with it. There's actually people who are interested to see it. And if you actually put time and effort to increase the quality, you can actually provide them a ton of content to see. People will tune into it. I find that kind of lacking right now. So maybe that shows why there's literally more off-campus centers than subscribers for the current YouTube account. Kind of weird. So this was around a time where turnout was actually increasing. So you could definitely argue that visual recordings did increase turnout. It went from 8,000 in the fall to all the way to 11,000 for the spring in 2020. This was before COVID. Like after COVID, this kind of died down because this center already graduated. So
Unfortunately, time.
okay, I'll be back next week.
We are now in line for a public comment from Archon Palacios. You'll have 3 minutes whenever you're ready.
Okay, hey guys, it's nice to be back with all of you. long time this year, I guess. But today, I'm coming on behalf of Cabinet, not Senate, coming as an AD of LGBTQ affairs in our local cabinet just next door. We'll be having a coalescence event this Friday in the Rights Union, March 28th from 1 to 3 p.m. in Rights Union Room 2360. But yeah, like I wrote Gator Transcendence Day with other senators in here. We fight for people like LGBTQ people on this campus, and so now this is a celebration of that. So I invite you to come and hang out and see what's up. We have food and merch for free, not you pay for it, but you get it now. And spread meaningful conversations about inclusivity, identity, and support for queer students. Yeah, we also made gas last year, we support queer students, let's show out, type shit. Thanks guys. Love all of you, for real. I'm not here right now, but text me if you ever need anything, for real.
We are now in line for amendments to the minutes. Do I hear any amendments to the minutes? Seeing none, we are now in line for amendments to the agenda. Are there any amendments to the agenda?
Yes.
Majority Party Leader Khan.
I move to approve Hughes Putman for the open judiciary committee seat by unanimous consent.
There's been a motion to approve Hughes Putnam for the open judiciary committee seat by unanimous consent. Are there any objections?
I object.
There's been an objection.
Follow
Follow
up. I move to approve Phoenix Comstone for the open judiciary committee seat by unanimous consent.
There's been a motion to approve Phoenix Comstone for the open judiciary seat by unanimous consent. Are there any objections?
I object.
There's an objection.
I move, follow
Follow up.
up. I move to approve Bert Littman for the open rules and ethics committee seat by unanimous consent.
There's been a motion to approve Burton Littman for the open rules and ethics committee seat by unanimous consent. Are there any objections?
I object.
Follow up.
Follow up.
I move to approve Zach Volsanovich for the open rules and ethics committee seat by unanimous consent.
There's been a motion to approve Zachary Wilsonovich for the open rules and ethics committee seat by unanimous consent. Are there any objections?
I object.
Follow up.
Follow up.
I motion to add all of the bills approved by Judish to the agenda, including SSB 2025-1062 through 1069, SSB 2025-1071 through 1077, and SSB 2025-1076. Sorry, can I rescind that and try it again? I motion to add all of the bills to the agenda that were approved by the Judiciary Committee by unanimous consent, including SSB 2025-1062 through 1069, SSB 1071 through 1074, and then SSB 2025-1076.
There has been a motion to add all of the bills that the Judiciary Committee has approved this week in their meeting that took place after the agenda was already sent out by just adding them to the agenda under first reading by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Follow up. I move to put SSB 1062 through 1069 into a block by unanimous consent. Oh, no, sorry. I move to put 1062 through 1060. I rescind that motion. Can I make another?
Yes.
I move to put SSB 2025-1062 through SSB 2025-1065 into a block by unanimous consent.
There has been a motion to make a block of SSB 2025-1062, SSB 2025-1063, SSB 2025-1064, and SSB 2025-1065 by unanimous consent. Are there any objections to that motion? Hearing none, that motion passes.
Follow up. I motion to put SSB 2025-1071 through 1074 into a block by unanimous consent.
There's been a motion to put the bills SSB 2025-1071, SSB 2025-1072, SSB 2025-1073, and SSB 2025-1074 in a block by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
Follow up.
Follow up.
I motion to approve SSB 2025-1076 by unanimous consent.
There's been a motion to approve SSB 2025-1076 by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
Follow up.
Follow up.
I motion to approve the block of SSB 2025-1063 through SSB 2025-1069 by unanimous, 1065 by unanimous consent.
Okay, there has been a motion to approve the block of SSB 2025, 1062 through 1065 by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
I move to, or sorry, the word,
Yield.
I yield to Senator Andrew Larkin.
Thank you. I move to make a block of bills SSB 2025 1066 through SSB 2025 1069 by unanimous consent.
There has been there is no 1069. Do you wish to make? Oh, 60. Sorry about that. Okay, there's been a motion to make a block of SSB 2025 1066, SSB 2025 1067, SSB 2025 1068, and SSB 2025 1069, and add those into a block by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
Follow-up.
Follow-up.
I move to approve the block of SSB 2025 1066 through SSB 2025 1069 by unanimous consent.
There has been a motion to approve SSB 2025 1066 through SSB 2025 1069 by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes.
I yield to Party Leader Khan.
Thank you. I move to approve of the block of SSB 2025 1071 through 1074 by unanimous consent.
There has been a motion to approve the block of SSB 2025 1071 through SSB 2025 1074 by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. Are there any other motions at this time?
Oh, I move to adopt the agenda by unanimous consent.
There has been a motion to adopt the agenda by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? There is an objection. Are there any other motions at this time?
I move to approve all of the excused and unexcused absences by unanimous consent.
Pro Tempore by moves to approve all of the block of excused and unexcused absences by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes.
I move to adopt the agenda.
There is a motion to adopt the agenda by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Hearing none, that motion passes. We are now in line for student body officer reports. Is there anyone from the president's office? The vice president's office? The treasurer's office? We are now in line for my report. Okay, a couple of things for me. Thank you so much. So the first thing is that my office hours are going to be rescheduled to this Thursday at 8 to 10 a.m. just for this week, hopefully. I have a prior commitment that is academic and I cannot miss on my traditional office hours time. So Thursdays, 8 through 10 a.m. Maybe give me a texting heads up if you're going to be there, but if you don't, I'll still be there, but it's just early. And then updates on ad hocs. So the QR code on the screen, if everyone could just scan that, please. This is going to be an application for ad hoc committees. So my formal announcement is that the ad hocs that are going to be established, given all of the submissions that I had received for all the different ad hoc committees, are going to be the mental health ad hoc and the campus mobility and safety ad hoc. I will read a brief description now. The mental health ad hoc will be raising awareness of the mental health crises and offering support to all students with regards to mental health through events and policy. The campus mobility and safety ad hoc is going to advocate for increased safety measures and infrastructure for roads at UF and the surrounding areas. So I highly encourage you all to apply to either one or both of these ad hocs if you just want to get involved in the group of people who are working on these initiatives. If you submitted an ad hoc idea and your ad hoc has not been established formally, that's okay. It doesn't mean that I don't support your idea. Sometimes particular things, in my opinion, work better in committees, and particular things, other things work better when you're doing it individually, especially if you've already been reaching out to people and having a lot of those connections. So that's the logic behind that, just in case anyone was curious. So how this is going to work is this form will close this Friday. It's not a long application. You can literally do bullet points or fragments of sentences, but it's just going to give me a good idea of what your ideas are. And then I'm going to appoint people to these committees. If you are already on the mental health ad hoc, and if you are already the mental health ad hoc chairs, you guys are good for now. Just resubmit the application so I know. And I'm also going to get the list of people who are on that ad hoc from the former chairs, just so we can reach out to those people and see, or the current chairs, just to see if those people are still interested. I think it's good to follow up just in case we have inactive membership and we don't want to be counting them as active membership. And then for the campus mobility and safety ad hoc, All ad hocs are going to have 2 chairs, so that's not something that you apply for. You'll just fill out the application, and then I'll reach out to people who maybe have been in Senate for a while and I know have connections related to that, and that is how that will be decided. Okay, and then for people who were not here last week or people who were just curious about this, please remember that Rec Sports is coming in next week on Tuesday, April 1st. They will be here at 6:30 p.m. in the Senate chamber before the start of the meeting. It's not technically mandatory, but I would really appreciate if you all could be here. They're taking the time to come here and talk to us and gather student feedback. And as senators, it's really important that we represent our constituents and are there for those types of things. And so, you know, it'll just be fun activities and stuff at 6:30 in the Senate chamber. And I will send out an email reminder probably the day before the event, but just add it to your calendars so you're all aware. And then please continue working on your own individual projects. A lot of people have been reaching out to me with really fantastic ideas, coming to my office hours and talking to me about them, or reaching out to different people who've been in Senate for a while, or people who may know how to write legislation because they've written it a lot over the terms, whatever. But just continue working on your own individual projects. I really want to encourage that, especially as we're nearing the end of the legislative cycle for this spring. And then committee chairs, this is just my last announcement. Please ask your committee members for some of their ideas. A lot of them come in with really fantastic ideas through RNA, and maybe it's just being intimidated for being on the committee for the first time, or maybe they've been on the committee for a while and it's been a while since they've already interviewed. It would just be awesome if they could share those ideas with you all, and so we can see some of them implemented. I think some of them are really feasible and really fantastic, so that would be great to see. That's all from me. We will now move into replacement and agenda committee recommendations. Does anyone still need the QR code? Okay, wonderful. So we are now in line for open committee seat recommendations. How this is going to work. Each recommendation will be given 3 minutes of presentation, 3 minutes of question and answer, followed by 3 rounds of con-pro debate with 3 minutes per side per round, and then 2 minutes of final privilege, and then we move into a majority rising vote. And so we're going to start at the top of the list for open committee seats and just go individually through each person. And so I'll call you up to the podium, and then I'll remind you that you have 3 minutes of presentation, and you can share a bit about yourself and your ideas and what you spoke about if you're here today. And then you'll answer some questions. And the questions, yeah, okay. So we are now in line for Hughes Putnam for the Judiciary Committee.
I'm Hughes Putnam. I'm running, obviously, for judiciary seat. A little bit about what motivates me to run for judiciary seat is I think that increasingly we find that a college degree is not enough to ensure success for students beyond college, and I think that the role of student government is unique and that we can bridge the gap by providing opportunities for students to get involved, get professional development, and make the connections that they need to be successful past their 4 years here in college. And I think that judiciary's role in that process is being a resource for all senators in the caucus and across the chamber to be able to best utilize the tools and make legislation that's within the confines of what student government can do to provide resources to their constituents that's tailored to their constituents to allow them to best utilize their 4 years here at the university. A little bit about my own qualifications. I served as an intern for a district intern for my U.S. representative in high school, so I've handled legislation. I've read bills and in terms of editing them, as well as providing recommendations to the representative based on what his interests were, as well as providing constituent services and constituent outreach in terms of looking at bills and finding ones that are related to them. I'm also double majoring in politics, philosophy, economics, and law, so I have a lot of experience in terms of reading political theory and dense legal documents, case law, and a lot of things that are going to help me be able to achieve and effectively fulfill my role in the Judiciary Committee, reviewing legislation, and really being a tool for all senators to be able to effectively craft legislation.
Thank you. We are now in line for 3 minutes of question and answer. Senator Larson.
Thank you. Great presentation. My question is, the Judiciary Committee's role is to interpret the 5 criteria, and I know there's a certain degree of leeway there. How would you define implication as it relates to the 5 criteria in legislation?
Well, I think implication is looking at the bill beyond just the wording of it. Obviously you want to have a bill that's constitutional and legal, but what does that really mean? And I think implication is really about that. When you're passing a bill, you have to think of, if it costs money, what's that money going to cost? Is it feasible? Have you communicated to the agency and administration that you're going to work for? Is it feasible? Can they really do this? And what are the long-term implications? And I think that's really what that implication is all about, is looking at it beyond just the wording of the bill and what it means for the student body and the future of students.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Senator Malamet.
I think it's amazing that you interned at your representative's office. Can you tell me a little bit more about that experience and how it'll help you in the Judiciary Committee?
Well, yeah. So basically, every day after in the afternoons, I would spend a couple hours in his office, mostly fielding phone calls from constituents, handling constituent relations. But I also did a lot of policy research. It was a district in West Tennessee, so it was very ag heavy. So I did research in terms of different agricultural bills that were passing through, working with different committees, and also dealing with giving constituents updates on where legislation was in the process, and then also curating legislation and discussing it with the lawmaker, and kind of helping them find different pieces that he might be interested in sponsoring that would help the constituents.
Judiciary Chair Bravo.
Would you care to talk about one of the ideas maybe you have for the Judiciary Committee?
Well, I think the first thing, again, I really talked a lot about empowering other senators, and I think that starts with, obviously there's just a parliamentary procedure guide as well as bill writing guides and templates, but I think providing a frequently asked questions sheet that talks about things, that really covers a lot of the things that issues that we see commonly with bills in the Judiciary Committee, and then kind of like a series of questions to ask yourself about the bills that you're presenting, to say, ask yourself these 5 questions about your bill before you present. And that's really going to help make the judiciary more efficient, more streamlined, and allow us to pass more legislation to help the student body. And then also providing templates and contacts for administrative bodies that the bills are often interacting with. So organizations like TAPS and Facility Services, a lot of bills work with them, and I think providing a point of contact in those administrations to reach out to when they're writing a bill that interacts with them, I think would be a helpful resource.
Are there any more questions at this time?
Would you please question my consent?
Okay. Well, okay, we're now concluding the question and answer period. Thank you so much. We are now going to move into 3 rounds of confro debate with 3 minutes per side per round. Are there any? I saw Senator Nadeau first.
Would you please question my consent?
There has been a motion to previous question by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. We are now in line for a majority rising vote. So will all those in favor of approving Hughes Putnam please rise to the side? You may now be seated. Seeing as that is a clear and convincing majority, you are approved. Congratulations. We are now in line for Phoenix Comstone for the Open Judiciary Committee seat. You have 3 minutes whenever you're ready.
All right, good evening, everyone. My name is Phoenix Comstone. I'm running for the Judiciary Committee seat. The reason why I'm running for this position is because I think it's an incredible way to give back to this chamber and all of you. The Judiciary Committee's job is to ensure that the legislation that comes to the floor is of high quality, and I think that's incredibly important for this entire chamber and our reputation as Senate. So some of the experience that I have that makes me qualified to serve on this committee is throughout middle school and high school, I participated in speech and debate, and primarily I did congressional debate, which is pretty similar to what we do in Senate. So I do have a lot of experience writing bills, writing legislation, and also reviewing legislation and bills for like constitutionality, primarily with the U.S. Constitution, but it would be similar for Senate in terms of evaluating it against the UF and SG constitutions. So I do have experience in that aspect. Additionally, I interned for the state attorney's office in Jacksonville for 8 months, the second half of my senior year of high school, all the way up to my freshman year of college. And through this role, I had a lot of experience handling, legal orders, documents, anything from, case trial questions. And I have a lot of experience in that aspect, kind of reviewing it for, the states, and similar to what the Judiciary Committee would do in terms of reviewing bills and legislation in that aspect. So I do have experience in kind of those areas. Some ideas I have for the Judiciary Committee, obviously it's been talked about how there'd like to be more transparency on our committees. So an idea I have for this is currently for the Judiciary Committee minutes, it talks about basically the criteria that the committee moves to either pass, fail, postpone. And an idea I have is for legislation that is getting, tabled or rejected or failed. I think it would be beneficial to add in the minutes the reason why of the criteria. So if a bill is failing, it's very easy to add on under that. Bill is failing for constitutionality or bill is failing for legality. And I think that would be beneficial for the transparency of the minutes at least, and kind of what the committee's doing and the reasons why a bill that student's following might not make it through the committee. So that's something I would love to, see if we could do, but yeah, that's about it.
Thank you. We are now in line for 3 minutes of question and answer. Senator Larson.
Awesome. Thank you. Great presentation. I loved hearing your ideas. During the fall 24 term, a member of the Judiciary Committee motioned over a bill preventing it from being heard. What are your thoughts on this action? Do you condemn it? Do you approve of it? What are your thoughts?
I've been completely unfamiliar with this just because I wasn't around this point. Like that was not in my term. I'd have to be more educated on it. However, I do think bills should have a chance in the committee and everyone should be heard. So from like that standpoint, I think that everyone should be heard on the committee and all bills should be considered. But I'm not educated on that.
Heard. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Budget Chair Adekila.
That was great. Hi, great presentation. Thank you so much for sharing. And thank you for also being honest about what you're educated on. I'm excited to be free to learn more about the Judiciary Committee. I kind of wanted you to go a little bit more in depth about your ideas, and you were talking about them, but I want to hear like a little bit more. Also, what are you really excited to learn from the Judiciary Committee? What are you like most excited to learn? Because there's a lot of different parts with this committee, and I want to know like what you're excited for.
So I'm excited to serve on the Judiciary Committee just because I think it'll be an excellent way for me to kind of get back to the chamber and also kind of learn about the process we have. I will admit I am still learning, as most of us probably are. Like we're constantly learning about all the different things here. There's lots of code, lots of rules. So I think the Judiciary Committee would be a good way for me to kind of, continue to grow in Senate and learn more, as well as kind of give back to everyone else, as well as being, I'm very dedicated. I would be very dedicated to the role and like put up my entire time and effort into it to make sure it runs smoothly. In terms of my ideas, so I kind of the only like what I kind of focused on in my interview and obviously here is kind of just like updating the minutes that the Judiciary Committee publishes every week. I'm not sure, like obviously I have to work with others and make sure if this is like possible, but I think it would be beneficial to kind of indicate based on the criteria what we're doing for like our motions. So if like motion to amend, like we're amending that on which criteria basis. Like we're motioning to amend this based on the format of the bill, like if there's format problems, so we're amending the bill for format. I think by just indicating what criteria we're using for the motions, it would be beneficial to kind of like indicate better in the minutes. Because like, if it says like amend, you might not know what they're amending it for. But I think by like labeling the criteria of the amendment, it would be beneficial in the minutes.
Thank you for explaining. I love that idea. Thank you.
Are there any other questions at this time? Seeing none, thank you so much. We are now in line for 3 rounds of confer debate with 3 minutes per side per round. Is there anyone wishing to speak in con? Senator Nadeau. There has been a motion in the previous question by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, the motion passes. We are now in line for a majority vote, but yeah, Okay, sorry. All those in favor of approving Phoenix Comstone for the Open Judiciary Committee seat, please rise. Thank you. You may be seated. Seeing as that is a clear and convincing majority, congratulations, Phoenix Comstone. We are now in line for Burton Littman for the Rules and Ethics Committee seat. Now 3 minutes whenever you're ready. Up to 3 minutes.
Hello, I'm Burton Littman, and I'm running for the Rules and Ethics Committee. So something that I'd tell you is my motivation to run for this committee is I've tried tirelessly to become a senator, and finally being able to become a senator, I believe, is a waste of my time if I'm not actively involved with the Senate. I believe that ensuring that Senate proceedings are going accordingly, and ensuring that senators are actually actively participating, not just simply attending meetings and just sitting around, is important. And actively talking to our student body and the constituency is an extremely important aspect of being a part of the Senate. Some experiences that I've had in my short time at UF, I've been a part of the Flex program where I've learned a lot about the inner workings of student government, and I've read over the codes, understanding the difference between understanding the inner workings of the Senate is extremely important, and how they relate to each other, the other branches of student government. And some ideas that I've had for the committee that I've noticed is, for example, firstly, that the Senate Instagram page does not have a link to the Senate resources, which I believe the student body should have, because the student body would like to see our resolutions. The student body would like to see who's attending meetings, and I think that's very important. Thank you.
We are now in line for 3 minutes question and answer. Senator Larson.
Awesome. Thank you. I love hearing your ideas. We had a constituent today talk to us about transparency within the committees. I know you addressed that a bit in your speech. Do you have any other ideas for transparency between committees and the Senate, and transparency between the committees and the student body at large?
Actually, I do. Something that I think is pretty important is making sure that not only senators know about their absences, so that they are not kicked off from the Senate or expelled from the Senate. I believe having some form of an alert or some system of updating the absences as absences are incurred, and also telling the student body, learning which senators are getting close to that number, I believe is pretty important. So it's something I'd like to work on.
Wonderful, thank you.
Are there any other questions at this time? Seeing none, thank you, Senator Littman.
Thank you.
We are now in line for 3 rounds of con per debate with 3 minutes per side per round. Is there anyone wishing to speak in con? Pro?
I'll move to previous question by 100%.
Member at large Boyosa has moved to previous question by unanimous consent. Just a reminder, please wait to be recognized before you make the motion. But there has been a motion to move to previous question by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. We are now in line for a rising vote. All those in favor of approving Senator Littman for the Rules and Ethics Committee, please rise. You may be seated. Seeing as that is a clear and convincing majority, you are approved. Congratulations for Littman. We are now in line for Zachary Wilsonovich for Rules and Ethics. Still 3 minutes whenever you're ready.
Thank you. So I chose to apply to the Rule and Ethics Committee, because at its core, Senate is a very important institution within U.S. student government. And the Rules and Ethics Committee essentially ensures that Senate is running the way it should. And if Senate goes astray, that's a big issue. And so I want to be part of the committee that does a good job of making sure that happens. So going into my qualifications, I think the one that's most notable is serving as philanthropy director for my fraternity. Because of the functions under that role, I work to make sure we follow both UF, national, and IFC bylaws, which directly aligns with following the codes of the US student government. I do a lot of absences. We have a large chapter. I have to ensure events are attended, brothers are participating, doing the way they should. Again, that's all mandated in our bylaws, very similar to Student Senate. And then finally, I'm actively looking for philanthropy opportunities for my chapter, whether it be by UF student government funded organizations, other Greek life organizations. That's a very important function of my role. And so I think all three of these go directly into the Rules and Ethics Committee. For my ideas, I have two. The first is to create an accountability dashboard on the Student Senate website that shows attendance, votes, resolutions. It keeps the public informed on what senators are doing within the chamber, and it also holds senators accountable for their actions in the chamber, outside of the chamber. The other idea that I'm particularly excited about, and something I've talked about with Chairwoman Villaramo, is an SG-funded organization event submission form. And what this does, it provides a location for organizations to share what they're doing, and it allows senators to ultimately be better informed on what's going on US campus so that they can better represent their constituency. Thank you.
We're now in line for 3 minutes, question and answer. Are there any questions at this time? Seeing none, thank you. We will now move into 3 rounds of debate with 3 minutes per side per round. Is there anyone wishing to speak in common? Senator Nadeau.
Motion to previous question by unanimous consent.
There's been a motion for previous question by unanimous consent. Are there any objections? Seeing none, that motion passes. We are now in line for a rising vote. Will all those in favor of approving Senator Wilsonovich for the Women Rules and Ethics Committee seat please rise? You may be seated. Seeing as that is a clear and convincing majority, congratulations, Senator Wilsonovich. We are now in line for committee reports. We're now in line for, or starting with the replacement edge of the committee.
All right, just want to say a quick round of, great. Congratulations to all newly appointed committee members. Y'all killed it. Everyone in the interviews killed it as well. Just wanted to point out it's hard coming up here to speak in front of the chamber. So it's always really impressive to see senators do that. I'm going to announce that we have 2 open seats, veterinary medicine and Mercury area. And then importantly, I'll be sending out an email tomorrow about summer replacements. Snuck up on us. So tentatively, these will be due by April 8th. You'll have to submit a name as to who you would like to replace you for either summer A, B, or summer C. To be eligible to be a senator during that time, you or your replacement has to have at least 1 credit hour in any of those mentioned semesters. So you have to be enrolled as a student. But that form will come out tomorrow. Let me know if you have any questions about that. Thank you.
We're now in line for the Judiciary Committee report. Will Judiciary Chair Bravo please deliver the report?
Well, first off, congrats to our 2 newest committee members. Judiciary went smoothly this past Monday. We will likely not meet on a Monday ever again. That was a pretty rare occurrence because of spring break. So we're probably going to target Saturdays and Sundays. Most likely it's going to end up being this Sunday. If all current committee members and new committee members, please meet me outside the chamber afterwards. Thank you.
We're now in line for Budget and Appropriations Committee report. Will Budget and Appropriations Chair Adekila please deliver the report?
All right, hi everybody. Very exciting because base funding is officially open. We are now in line to really get moving on these hearings. All hearings will be completed by April 23rd. So if you are an organization leader or you know organization leaders, we got a lot of questions in my email that I've been reading about when they're gonna hear. It's gonna be after that date is when we're gonna officially approve their budgets. Base funding closes, again, I'm just gonna repeat this because I also, as senators, you guys should all be telling people these dates. It will be closing April 7th for base funding at 4 p.m. and operational event and travel requests open April 2nd. So there are gonna be very busy dates for officers, especially treasurers and presidents. But I'm very excited to jump right into the season. My next announcement is I'd like to officially announce Cole Bennett as my vice chair. I'm very excited. Me and Cole have been stalking the 800 so I'm very excited to continue working with him. I would love if anyone wants to come talk to me about the committee, any questions about funding, any questions about budget, please let me know, because I want all questions to be answered, especially from org leaders, or if you know org leaders. But that's all for me. Thank you so much.
We are now online for the Rules of Ethics Committee report. Will Arnie, Chair Phil Romo, please deliver the report.
Hi everyone, sorry, kind of a lot from me today. First and foremost, congratulations for our 2 new committee members. Looking forward to working with you both. And Lexi Trower is my vice chair. So I'm So you guys all should have received an email from me outlining your constituency and absence expectations for being a senator. If you did not get that, please come up to me. Most people's emails were on the SU website, but if it wasn't, I didn't have a way of contacting you. So just come up to me after the meeting. I'll be up at the front for a couple of minutes. Another exciting update is that we have a constituency calendar. It's up on the SU website officially. So if you guys go to the SU website, you go to resources and then forms. That's where you'll find the constituency calendar. It's a Google calendar with like different specific ones for each type of constituency. That's also where you can find the absence form and the constituency submission form. A lot of people have asked me where that is. Same format, SU website, resources, forms. If you're submitting a piece of constituency, please make sure that you are physically in the picture. If you just send me a picture of the background, it doesn't really show us that you were there. You can have a friendly picture of that, and it's hard for us to approve. We'll have to table it, and we'll have to get more information from you. The committee will most likely be meeting next Monday at noon. And tentatively, constituency will be due April 22nd. So please put that in your calendar. That means constituency is due on the last Senate meeting, which is most likely going to be April 22nd. A couple people have also asked me about the absence period. So it's kind of confusing because of the summer term. So absences started at the second meeting of that double meeting. So when you went to meeting 1, the new senators were confirmed, meeting 2. That period started that meeting. It'll go to the last Senate meeting of this semester. It'll be put on pause. If you are a summer senator, a new term starts. For you, technically, like for that summer, that doesn't go over to the fall. Sorry, I'm kind of explaining this here. Then when you come back in the fall, your absences pick up again. This is just for absences, not for constituency. So let's say I had 2 absences that I accumulated in March. When I come, I'm not here for the summer. When I come back in August, I will have 2 absences until the next Senate term starts. If that doesn't make sense to you, I know it's a little confusing, please come up to me after, I'll try to explain it better. But just know your absences are carrying over into the fall. Summer does not count towards your absence for this Senate period. And yeah, midterm updates will be sent out this week. If you have questions about your constituency, where you're at with your constituency, what's been approved, what's been failed, please hold off on emailing me or texting me about it until next week after you get your constituency update. If you still have questions, feel free to email or text me or come up to me. Yeah, that's it for me. Thanks, guys.
We are now online for Information and Communications Committee report. Will INC Chair Felix please deliver the report.
All right, hey guys, welcome back from break. I hope everyone enjoyed their spring break. Before I get into my announcements, I just want to say Campus Engagement is putting on an escape room. So it's going to be from March 31st to April 6th in Rec Room 2101. There's a bunch of free open spots. It's 6 to 8 people. I highly encourage everyone goes because I know I love a good escape room. You go to Campus or Student Engagement's Instagram to sign up, and you can find it there. And then for me, so for merch, T-shirts are in. There is a delay on the zip-ups. It's going to be coming tomorrow, so next Senate meeting or later during the week, I'll set up a time to distribute those. But if you did order a T-shirt, make sure to find me or Marianne after. We'll be handing them out. Tabling is still going on, so if you need that tabling constituency, make sure to go back in the email I sent out and just sign up for a day. It's going to be going on throughout April, a few more days. Also, makeup headshots, I will be sending out an email about that. And also, if you don't want to take a headshot and just want to submit one, make sure you submit that to that form. I'll be closing that up soon, and we're going to start uploading it slowly to the website. So if you did submit one, it'll be going up soon. And then lastly, for all our new senators that want a name tag, that's going to be going up on the e-market by the end of this week, along with stoles for seniors. And name tags just dropped to $13. So, yay. And that's all from me. Sorry.
We are now in line for bills under first reading. There are none. We are now in line for bills under second reading. There are also none. We are now in line for bills under third reading. There are also none. We're now in line for bills pending signature. There are none. We are now in line for announcements. A couple of things from me. So just to clarify that summer replacement thing for those of you who are unaware, basically how it works is a lot of people aren't here over the summer, so we have every senator has three options. Your first option is you are staying either summer C, which is both parts of the summer, or you're only staying for one part of the summer, so either summer A semester or summer B semester, or you're staying in Gainesville, none of those times you're just not going to be here. So those are the different scenarios that you could potentially be in. By staying, you don't actually have to be in Gainesville. Just by staying, I'm referring to being able to be in the Senate chamber on Tuesdays. At the regular Senate time. So your three options for that are, if you're going to be here, you're more than welcome to attend Senate meetings as per usual. Just keep in mind that absences do count over the summer for its own summer term. So summer A, you have a limit of absences. Summer B, you have a limit of absences. If you're planning on missing 3 meetings over the summer, maybe it would be a good idea to appoint a replacement for that part of the summer because you only get a certain number of absences. So that's scenario number 1. Scenario number 2 is you have someone in mind who can take your seat for either one part or both parts of the summer, and you can designate them as your replacement on the form. And then scenario number 3 is that you are not going to be here and you know you need a replacement, but you can't find anyone or you don't have anyone in mind. And so there's going to be an option where you can ask for RNA to just open up your seat and they can fill your seat with whoever applies and is approved for it over the summer, and you will not be penalized at all. Make sure that you fill out the form. If you don't have anyone in mind, make sure you select that option. Otherwise, if you just don't show up, your absences are actually going to count, and there may be a scenario where you will get removed. So please don't let that happen. And then just a quick second thing, when we adjourn the meeting, just stay for an extra 2 seconds so we can go over what's on the agenda. Are there any other announcements at this time? Okay. Senator Travers.
Okay, so I know he had briefly mentioned it in the busy calendar, but I just wanted to go over some events happening this week and next week. So tabling, I'm sure you guys saw the email Crystal sent out, but there's tabling Monday the 31st from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. For extra events, there's Interacting with Interfaith tomorrow from 6 to 7, Natalie 114. And then there's also, like Arshon mentioned, Gator Coalescence Day, 1 to 3 p.m. In Rights 2360 on Friday. And then for SG funded on the 27th Thursday, Cuban American Student Association is having an event from 6 to 8 p.m. in McCarty Hall. Friday, the Japanese Student Association is having their Praying for Shan service event from 4 to 7:30 p.m. in Rights. And on Saturday, University Habitat for Humanity is having a pickleball tournament from 6 to 8:30 p.m. at Cloud Field. And then also for SG Fun event, that's not all of them, so the rest are on the constituency calendar. And then City and County Commission, there is a virtual meeting tomorrow at 4:15 p.m. But if you do want to go in person on Thursday, there is a special meeting at 9 a.m. at the City Hall auditorium, and then another special meeting at 1 p.m. also at the City Hall auditorium.
Judiciary Chair Bravo.
I just want to reiterate that if you submit a bill or code change to the Judiciary Committee, please try and show up to the committee to present about the piece of legislation. Senator Larson was kind enough to show up when his code revisions were on the docket. It just made it a lot easier to pass them and put them into a block, got it through quick, ask for his permission to do so. It just helps us get further down the docket and make you not have to wait as long. And if we do have a larger docket, Senators Henley and Fullerton have the idea of we're going to start bringing snacks to all Judiciary Committee meetings for any guests who want to show up. So that's all.
Okay. Are there any other announcements? Seeing none, I adjourn this meeting at 8:28 p.m.
All right, hold calendar record.